this opportunity, I will talk about Peru. One of my favorite tours I do here in my country is southern Peru. I'm gonna take you to virtual journey into southern part of Peru, actually, uh, giving you the specific, very nice facts about southern Peru, and also showing you some of the amazing pictures I sometimes take during my tours, no? When I lead in tours in here. As you can see here, Peru is in South America, obviously. It's the third largest country in South America, and our tour starts in Lima, which is the capital. No, Lima is the biggest city in Peru, with more than 13 million inhabitants. That's where all the flights will come to, from Europe and also from North America. And in Lima, we're spending only one full day. We're going to one of the islands around them on the coasts, on the Pacific coast. And after that, one day or so, we take another flight, a domestic flight into southeastern Peru, to a city called Puerto Maldonado, as you can see here. Puerto Maldonado City is located about 1,000 miles from Lima, and it's a border city close to Brazil and also Bolivia. This is a city with about 100,000 inhabitants, as you can see here. And that's what our first flight takes you to, right? Our first destination. Puerto Maldonado is also the main gate to one of the most important protected areas we have in Peru, which is Tambopata National Reserve. It's in here where we start our journey into the Amazon rainforest. And here we spent about 5 days, traveling around. As you can see here in the picture, we first pick up by some of the guides working at the lodges here where we visit, by one of the nice cars, and takes you to the office in Puerto Maldonado, where we spend some time repacking our luggage and things, because we're going to the forest for like 5 days or so. And sometimes just in the office of Puerto, which is not far, it's not far from the airport. It's about 5 minutes from Puerto Maldonado Airport. We get things like, for example, gray putu, as you can see here, this is a nice bird, related to frog mouse, European frog mouse, that we have in South America. And we get to see this bird quite often, actually, around the office, and also during our tour in the forest. Once we finish packing and we are ready to go, we will continue our journey into the Tambopata River. Tambopata River, located not far from the city, will take you into, or will take us into Posada Amazonas. Posada Amazonas. Sorry about this, but I having some sort of. Andy. Hello. Someone is playing some sort of games. Sorry about this. So Posada Amazonas is our first lodge we visit. I'm sorry. Sorry about this, folks. I having a little problems with the technical problems with the microphones here. So we have our hotel here, the place we stay for the first night, which is Posada Amazonas. This lodge works a lot with the local people and the community around. All right, and as you can see, the bedrooms and the rooms are fantastic. Here is another picture I have taken during my tours, and you can see the place we stayed at. And not far from the lodge itself, we have a kind of tower that we always go, and we get to see all the nice, canopy level of the Amazon rainforest nearby, including, mammals like red howler monkeys, as you can see here, and some of the nice canopy birds, like for example, golden colored toucanet, a bird that is sometimes very hard to see. But when we go up to the tower, not far from the lodge, as I said, this tower, which is about 45 meters high, it's easy to see, you know. We also get things like white-necked puffbird, for example, another canopy bird species that is only found up there, and things like that, no? So Posada Amazonas, you can actually see it better here, is, as I said, part of community, private community reserve, and it's owned by a local people called Ceja. The Ceja people have been inhabiting this area for, you know, actually centuries here. And then after spending only one night in Posada, we get to our next destination in the Amazon rainforest, which is Tambopata Research Center. But before we get there, we spend some time in an oxbow lake, right? Not far from the lodge that is called Tres Chimbadas. Here in this oxbow lake, we get we take what we call a catamaran, no, and I have these benches. And after half an hour of walk from the river, we get to spend some time around the lake, right? During this time we get to spend here, we get to see things like giant river otters, you know, which is one of the most endangered animals we have in the Amazon rainforest. With a little bit of luck, of course, no, we don't have always the luck to see them, but most of the cases we get to see them. You know, I was going around the lake. No, another nice picture I have taken here in the lake. No, and after that we get things like hoaxins as well. No, which are these prehistoric birds that live around the lake, and also sometimes things like green and rufous kingfisher, no, which is quite common around this particular lake. As you all know, probably oxbow lakes are remnants of the rivers. You know, the rivers used to go around that area. And after many wet seasons, the river cut off, and the meander, you know, that was actually there, and it gets isolated from the rest of the river, becomes a lake. You know, this is what we call an oxbow lake. This is another common bird that we get to see around the lake, which is the sand grieve, which is not really a grieve. You know, it's similar to a grieve, but we have it here, and it's striated heron as well. Can be seen easily regularly around the lake. Caimans, like black caimans, are also common growing in this lake, as you can see, and we often see them. You know, oxbow lakes being far from the river and far from humans, you know, can hold a lot of wildlife, you know, like giant river otters, which is amazing in the Amazon, and also the black caimans, no, as well as other species of birds. Then we go to Tambopata Research Center. As I said, we were in Tres Chimbadas Oxbow Lake, as I said, and then from here we take the motorized canoe and we go all the way up for about 6 hours to another amazing lodge, which is farther into the reserve, which is Tambopata Research Center. No, Tambopata Research Center is owned by this private company in Peru that is called Rainforest Expeditions. And in Tambopata Research Center, which is an amazing place in a beautiful, you know, location in the Amazon, as you can see here, you know, it got these private rooms, you know, and it's in an amazing location, and it is not far from what, you know, we know as Macos and Paros clay lakes, no? Here are some pictures taken by me at this place. You know, this is like the main dining room area, and also the bar and the nature place where everybody can sit in the evenings and have a, you know, a drink or something. And also at Tambopata Research Center, we are not far from, you know, as I said, now the Maco and Parrot clay lakes. You know, these are cliffs along the rivers. And here every day, especially in the dry season, macaws and parrots come down to eat clay, no? And they do that to neutralize some of the toxins and poison they actually eat during the day. No, so to get there to the clay lakes, we need to take again these motorized canoes for like 45 minutes to an hour because these clay lakes have changed locations recently because of the river. And once we get to the spot, we get to see beautiful views of macaws and parrots, like I show you here in the pictures. This is an amazing spectacle, bird spectacle that, as I say, happens every day and during the season, and we can get to see them all the time. Also, going up and down the Tambopata River at that far from the city of Puerto Maldonado, because here we are about 100 miles from the city. We are in a very nice area. We have also a very good chance for white caimans, for example, along the river, right, as you can see here. Also chance for Brazilian tapir. This is a picture that I had taken in my last tour where we witnessed a couple of lowland tapirs or Brazilian tapirs coming out of the forest. Really a great show along the river of Tambopata, and also we are very lucky. That doesn't happen all the time, but we're very lucky. We can get, the amazing jaguar, which is, as you know, is the largest wildcat in the Americas and the third largest wildcat in the world. Things like this, we can actually find along the river that far around Tambopata Research Center. After spending time at Tambopata Research Center, we're going to, hold on a second. We're going to Cusco. So you can see again Tambopata Research Center here. And after that, we're going back to the city of Puerto Maldonado. And then we take a 45-minute flight to the city of Cusco, which is only, 300 miles from Puerto Maldonado city. And we're going to the ancient city of Cusco. This Cusco is an amazing city, as it was the capital of the Inca Empire, for many years, more than 500 years ago. And here we get to spend also a few days before we start our activities around. So during the time we are in Cusco, we do a city tour, and also we go to the Sacred Valley and things like that. But once we get to Cusco, of course, different wildlife can be found as we're that high. In Cusco, we're about 11,000 feet in elevation, whereas in the Amazon rainforest, we're about 300 meters, which is about 1,000 feet only. Things like Andean hill star can be seen around in one of the tours we do. An amazing bearded mountaineer, which is a Peruvian endemic, can also be seen around, and also, as I said before, Cusco is the ancient city of Peru, and that has a lot of history because it was the capital of the Inca Empire. So we get to see a lot of Inca sites, like Sacsayhuaman, and also the main gate to go to Machu Picchu, but that comes later in the tour. This is some of the walls of the Sacsayhuaman. This is some of the beautiful Andean terraces we get to see in one of the days around Machu Picchu. And we also get the chance to see things like llamas and alpacas, which are South American camels, as you know, in one of the tours. This is a tour I did with Naturetrek clients as well as last year. We also one day we go to a lake, an Andean lake, where we can get a lot of Andean birds, including perhaps flamingos, Andean gulls, and things like that. And again, the amazing cultural and historical part of the city that we also visit during the tour. Now, here in this picture, you can see a nice Inca palace, that was partly destroyed when the Spanish came to Peru. That is called Coricancha, and they partly destroyed it to build like a church in top that is called Iglesia de Santo Domingo. And now it's really a mixture of Inca site as well as Spanish colonial style church in the top, but can be visited also during the tour, no? So we get to see these kind of things. And one day we also expanded exploring the Sacred Valley, that can see in a minute. This is a beautiful picture that I took last year of the Sacred Valley. And this is of the Inca, of course, and this is this Urubamba River down there. So and that's what we're going next. We're going next to the Sacred Valley here. And as I said, one full day, we're going to spend the whole day in the Sacred Valley, where we get to learn more about the Incas, and all the beautiful constructions and palaces that they built more than 500 years ago. But we're also looking for birds, because the tour we do here in southern Peru is a mixture of cultural and also birding, which is very nice. As I said, it's one of my favorite tours, that I lead here in Peru. So once in the Sacred Valley, as I said, we spend the whole day. We can again get to see this beautiful landing terraces, which is part of a big Inca site that is called Pisac, And our local guides that we use here for this part of Peru are amazing with great knowledge as well. And as we go into the Sacred Valley, which is not far from the city of Cusco, it's about 1 hour, we get to see this fantastic scenery, and like the Urubamba River, as we go in there. But also, as I said, we're looking for amazing birds like bearded mountaineer, which is a Peruvian endemic, it's a hummingbird that we have here, that I know obviously places where to find it, right? And we can get things like rusty-fronted canastero, which is another Peruvian endemic, that live around here in Cusco. We look for this bird around in the areas, with a lot of scrubs and bushes. So it's this fantastic bird, which is the chestnut-breasted mountain finch, another beautiful bird endemic to Peru that is found around. And the last but not the least bird is the Trini-breasted spaniel. I have to ask for permission to Pete Morris to get this bird, because I don't have the picture of it. But here you go. These are the main target species we look for around Cusco, which are also endemics. So once we spend the time in Cusco, then we can go either to the cloud forest of Peru in this part of the country, which is in an area known as Manu, right? And the place we're going to visit is Coco de Rock Lodge, which is about 5,000 feet in elevation, right? Coco de Rock Lodge is again located in a very isolated area in the cloud forest in the mountains, in the eastern slope of the mountains. And this is a fantastic location. We spent 3 nights, and in the cloud forest. You can get to see the beautiful rooms inside with private toilets, and hot showers in the bathrooms. The fantastic scenery of cloud forest always provides. Here's our van that took us there one day, and we get also fantastic bird life, like for example Andean cock of the rock, which is an official bird of Peru, right? And that dual deck. Sometimes some species of endemic birds like Inca flycatcher as well that we get here, going down on the road to Manu and also to Coco de Rock Lodge. This is the nice Butte racket-tail that we have here as well, that comes to the gardens of the lodge, comes to the feeders, because we got some feeders around. And with a little bit of luck, things like chestnut-crowned cotinga, or chestnut-breasted cotinga. So this is the kind of things we're looking for. I mean, the cloud forest is about 300 species of birds, obviously, and we're always looking for birds. And it's an amazing place, amazing location where we can spend 3 or 4 days, even more sometimes. And obviously, it's very quiet. You're surrounded by the mountains and the birds, and the fact that we're close to the lake, one of the biggest lakes of Coco Rocks in Peru, is just amazing. One day, we can I can also take you to a nice a place called, it's like a hummingbird feeder place. It's called Mirador Pico de Oz, which is like an hour from Cocodoro Lodge. We can do that for like one full day. And here's me with a group having some lunch at this place, but also, no, this place is full of hummingbirds, as you can see. It's another Naturetrek group I guided this year, sorry, last year. And we get amazing and different type of hummingbirds around, including, you know, things like king vulture, and this species of monkey, which is dusky tiki monkey, and scarlet hooded barbet, which is almost endemic to Peru, and you know, lone-billed star frontlet, you know, also, or star front, another nice hummingbird, easy to see in this hummingbird area, no? Rufous crested coquettes, another bird that comes all the time, no, to the feeders and get perched in that sort of way. After spending time at Cocodoro Lodge, you know, this hummingbird feeder area, which is by the base of the mountain, as I said, 1 hour from the lodge, a little bit lower. Then we return to Cusco, no, for like a night or so. And after spending in Cusco, sometimes people go and do the Inca Trail. It's in fact in the same time some people go to do the cloud forest area of Peru, that some of the people can do the Inca Trail. Here's where the Inca Trail starts. The Inca Trail takes about 4 days, 3 nights, although we do it in 5 days, 4 nights. And in this during this time, people get to, you know, see this fantastic scenery. As you can see, we walk on this ancient trail that is by the Inca until eventually we get to the Sun Gate, which is where we get to see Machu Picchu for the first time, if you can see here. And here's a picture of mine with my local guy, Alvaro, which is an amazing guy that I always take with me in my tours. And here's one, you know, some of the Andean terraces and Inca constructions that we get to see during our Inca Trail to Machu Picchu. This is Paddington Bear that was taken by one of my clients last year, and to, you know, put it there at the Sun Gate before we reach Machu Picchu. No, some amazing orchids as well we get to see around, and so you have an idea of the scenery we get to see during the Inca Trail, and obviously the kind of tent we use during the trek. So once we finish either the 4 days in the cloud forest or the 4 days in doing the Inca Trail, we finally made it to Machu Picchu. No, Machu Picchu is about 40 kilometers or 25 miles from the beginning of the Inca Trail, and that's very much the distance you walk, which is 25 miles or 40 kilometers. And here in Machu Picchu, as you can see in this fantastic view from Google Earth, we made it here, and we get to spend, you know, some time in Machu Picchu where we do a tour around, you know, having amazing views of one of the 7 wonders of the world. You know, here's me and my group as well, having a lot of fun in Machu Picchu with a beautiful weather, as you can see, blue sky, and sometimes not that case, because it's cloud forest. Machu Picchu as well is about 2,500 meters, 7,000 feet. And it could be rainy and cloudy, but we've been very lucky so far with the groups, and we will get to see Machu Picchu like this. No, here's another beautiful, fantastic picture of one of this new 7 wonder. Again, no, some of the Inca terraces we get to see. We look for birds like Inca wren. Now you can see here, which is a Peruvian endemic during the walk to the citadel. And mask, no, Florida, another endemic species of bird we have around Machu Picchu. You know, mitred parakeet as well is another bird, not endemic to Peru, but also found around. And silvery tanager, another of the specialities around in the area. I know I got 22 minutes. I almost finished. And after the Inca Trail, and after obviously the time in Machu Picchu, we get to spend 1 night in one of the most fantastic hotels we have in Peru. In fact, it's called Inca Terra Pueblo, as you can see here. This is a five-star hotel we have nearby, and one night in there with lunch and dinner, and is what we're spending here. They also have beautiful hummingbird feeders around, a fantastic garden, as you can see, that brings a lot of canariers and hummingbirds, and also cocoa rock sometimes. No, as you can see, the facilities here is just amazing. And after spending all this time in Peru and doing the Inca Trail, we get to spend time in this fantastic place. No, so that's basically it. And once we spend the time, we go back to Cusco for the final night, and then after that, we go to Lima to say goodbye to Peru, and then to go back to Europe or the UK. No? So 24 minutes. So this is it. Guys, I hope you enjoy it.